Good afternoon, it's Nick from Nick's Handmade Crochet. Just a fairly gloomy mid-May Sunday afternoon here in Sydney, and I've been crocheting all year. Well, I crochet all the time, but since I guess January, I haven't done markets, and I've just been crocheting away, enjoying what I do, looking up lots of patterns. And anyway, I thought I better just go through some of the stuff that I've made. And when I went to get all my stuff out of my craft room to sort out everything else, I thought I'll just get my stuff that I've made recently to tag, just in case I do a market, then it's all ready to go. Anyway, just before we get started, this is just a scarf I made maybe last year, end of last year. Anyway, I can't really remember, but anyway, it's made with some Shapier's yarn, which used to be called Our Tribe, and they changed, and then they were selling off that yarn, or some of the Australian suppliers were selling off Our Tribe because some of the colours slightly changed, and you know, when they repackage things, even though the yarn's identical, they sell it off. Anyway, so I managed to pick up a few balls. They were less than half price, so for me that's a bargain. And this is it's a sock yarn, so it's about 70% merino, and it's got some nylon in it, so you know, if you don't really mind that it's not 100% wool, then you know, that's okay. But if you're going to be really picky, then it's not for you. But the colours are just amazing. Now, this pattern is by an Australian designer. She's a fairly well-known Australian designer. Her name is Shelley Husband, and you can find her patterns online. And she has a couple of groups and a Facebook page, so have a look for her, because I love making her patterns. And even if you just make up some of the smaller squares and put them together, you could make a neck warmer or anything, so have a look at her. All right, so earlier this year I wanted to try another Shapier's yarn that came out, and this is sort of like a 10-ply Aran weight yarn, and it's similar to stone washed. So I made some leg warmers. So I've got 3 pairs. So this is these are the pattern by Topian Den. Now I won't try and say what the name of her design, because it's a bit of a tongue twister, but I think it's really cute. So making 2 leg warmers takes up 4 balls of yarn. So I think I use a 5mm hook. So I pretty much followed the pattern just for with 4 repeats of this design, which is 4 rows, so 4 repeats of that. Yeah, so they're quite cute, quite layering. So I wanted to try that colour. There's that. It's quite a nice bluey green. And this is similar, but it's not exactly the same. So this pattern, you can change colours per row and then control the colour, but you know, if you don't have to sew in ends, why would you bother? So I've just continued. I didn't, you know, cut the balls up and, you know, pick the colour. I just let the colours go where they went. Yeah, again, I'd made another scarf. I made a couple of these. I've gifted one to a couple of people. And this is just another one, so I'm going to try and sell that one. It's beautiful. What else have I made? Oh yeah, so back to Bendigo Woolen Mills. I made some leg warmers, and I've put up pictures of these before. This because my sister wanted a set for herself. So this I sort of just winged it a little bit. I did sort of take inspiration from the Topian Den of the other leg warmers I made just for this few rows here, and I think I did a yarn over or like an extended single crochet for this one. I can't remember. I do have it written down because I wanted a tighter stitch so it wasn't so gapey, because if you want something to wear that's warm, you want good coverage. So I made those, and this is more Bendigo wool. This is the Prism. The previous set was from Prism yarn as well. That's that. And then I bought a pattern, but this is all over Instagram. You can follow people making this particular and YouTube that particular swirl, and I thought, oh, that might sort of be cute, so I've done a pair of leg warmers like that, and I did another pair of leg warmers, similar. You know, I'm not really great with colours, putting colours together, so I probably should do a course on but anyway, so that was with some Prism and some of the Luxury 8-ply for those. And again, I think I did a extended double crochet for that one. I'm not sure. I'm just playing around, trying to see what works. At some point I made another one of my ponchos. So I just had some of that red, so I used that. Again, this is all Bendigo Woolen Mills, and it was another pattern that I wanted to try, the herringbone. So it's come out looking quite differently, just given the colours that I've chosen. So whether or not anyone would like those. So I've got a few of those. And then this was another Bendigo Woolen Mills yarn, which I wanted to try because it's got a bit of a glittery effect in it. The wool is beautiful, and it does have this lurex through it. If you can see the sparkle there, but it's a really, really nice wool to work with, very soft. Okay, so that was the whimsy. What else have I been making? Oh, just too much. Some fingerless gloves, again, Bendigo Woolen Mills. So I've made these using different hooks for a couple of them, sizes, and I sort of adjusted the pattern. This pattern was from a designer called Of Mars. She does lots of sort of boho-y type stuff. And then I've just used, again, the Bendigo Woolen Mill Prism. Another pair, that's with the colourway Possum. And that's with some of the leftover red that I made the poncho with. This little vest, I've seen, you know, things very similar to that, so just it's a granny square, and I've just added a little bit of a couple of rows on each side just for the body. It's probably for like a 2 to 4 year old. Again, so that was with the Shapers yarn that I tried. Why can't I remember what it's called? I'll put a little note up here or somewhere about what the name of that is. Yeah, so practicing on these little vests, which I think will be quite nice. They're pretty basic. This is the Peyton Sierra, which you get from Big W, or you can get online from some various stores as well. So got that. Another pair of gloves. the pile just keeps growing. And then I wanted similar thing with the vest, but I just made it into a jumper. So I've just added on some sleeves. So that's just granny square. Now that yarn, that's from a company called Patty and Bango's Place. It's Australian. So she's got a couple of yarns. This is it's Kestrel's Kaleidoscope. And again, if people don't want to have wool for their kids, this is a 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So that was this little jumper. So I want to do some hats, some beanies with it as well. That's quite reasonably priced. I really like that. The other yarn that I have used before, and it's a cotton acrylic mix. There's a couple of brands that are really great. This company, Yarn Over, Yarn Under, again, another Australian company. The few balls of yarn that I bought came in this great little bag, and I love things that come in bags because it just means you can store things. So I've just ordered a few more balls. It's a rainbow colour, just so I can make some sort of kids beanies. They're going to be a bit fun. Back to this pattern. I made a couple of these jumpers again. This is a yarn from Spotlight. It was just a 50-50, 50% wool, 50% acrylic. So it's quite thick. So that one's, it's not super soft, but it should be okay for a child. I did make this one with some other wool that I got from Spotlight, but I think this is going to be too heavy. So I might have to give that one away. And then I didn't want it so heavy everywhere. So I've just used some of the Patent Sierra that I had just to make the arms, because I just thought, oh, it's so heavy. It's just going to be such a heavy jumper for a little one to wear. So I'm not sure if I want to sell those or just give them away. So again, I've been trying to use up some scrap yarn, and I just made a neck warmer. So this is that little square pattern from Shelley Husband, and that's just with some leftover Shapier's yarn as well from our tribe, that grey, and I thought, oh, well, have I got enough just to make a neck warmer? So I've just made a neck warmer with that, pop some squares together and put some ribbing front and back, so it'll be warm. But yeah, so I've used up the last of that grey with that. And then back to this Whimsy yarn, and you've seen this sort of stuff. I've posted pictures of this before as well. So again, I bought a few patterns from Ludmilla Hefney. She has another name for a business as well, but I bought the pattern off Etsy. So that was the beanie pattern and the neck warmer pattern. So I've made a couple of sets of those, and I might make a couple more sets of gloves. Now, I've got to go through all my stuff. Absolutely ridiculous how much stuff I have. If I can flip the screen, but I don't know how to, sorry. These are, again, from Of Mars, that sort of swirly pattern, and these were gloves I made last year, so I just found those in one particular box. They're quite a big size, so probably fit so with really large hands. That was a tester for my sister, but it was a bit too big, so I made her a second set with longer arms as her request. So I have, a pile of things, like seriously. I don't even think that's everything I've made. And I've got bags and tubs of crochet stuff that I need to go through this afternoon. So I've just made myself a coffee and I'm going to do that and maybe tag some stuff. But seriously, I love crocheting. I love making all this stuff. It's just growing. Like, it's growing and growing and growing. So I really need to pass it on. So whether or not, I really don't know. Or maybe I just need to donate it all. But it gives me a lot of joy crocheting. I love trying new techniques and improving on the techniques that I've learnt. Anyway, that's it for now. Happy crocheting, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.